Hey there, I'm Alonda, and this is me unscripted. So if you are looking for a content creator who has everything that's aesthetically pleasing, long, beautiful hair, young, all of that, you should go because this most certainly is not that. And it never will be. It just won't. It's just me talking to you about whatever is on my mind. And one of the things that's on my mind is the fact that we have to move during a pandemic. And if you don't know this, I have a compromised immune system. I am high risk because I'm a cancer survivor. So this is not my idea of a good time. If you just heard a weird noise, that was my dog Chalupa and his little flappy ears. Chalupa and Tamale Wally Doodle are behind me. And you can see over here, there are some boxes that I've started packing, and some of them are wine boxes because my husband, who is a sommelier, brings wine boxes home for us to pack in. They're not that big. They're really not. And my phone is dinging. I bet you that's my YouTube buddy, Monica. And now I've got to turn this down. I always have issues with my phone. I swear. It's always one thing. Well, I'm just going to ignore that and hopefully she won't keep on, dinging me. And if she does, it's just going to be in the video because you know what? There's no fancy editing. There's no fancy anything over here. Now, this is my secondary channel. My primary channel is the Recovering Hunbot. Over there, I do multi-level marketing videos. Here, this channel was created based on two things. Number one, because on July 3rd, we were told we've got to move. And number two, I was inspired by another content creator, Peter Monn, which we are going to reveal what my top 10 reasons are for loving him today on this video. And he really did inspire me because, I think he's great and I'm going to give you the reasons why. But first, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on our move. And yeah, okay, I have my list. We signed the lease on Saturday. Now, here's the thing. When we did that, we drove by a place that has been on the news here in Houston for having too many people there. And guess what? Too many people. I mean, way too close together. Plus, there was another place near where we're moving to. They were having some sort of event. Granted, it was outside, but I'm sorry. Just kind of rein in. You don't need to be around people right now. And in Houston, our mayor yesterday, he's calling for another lockdown. He doesn't have the power to do that. It would have to depend on our governor. But honestly, I mean, people need to just stay home. My husband, with what he does, he works in a restaurant, like I said, a sommelier. And, he thinks in his head when he sees people at the restaurant, why are you here? You should be home. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be out. And people shouldn't, and there's all this stuff about, you're squashing my liberty, you're wearing a mask and all this. And me as someone who I could be highly impacted by this, I don't want to be. I found out that a friend of mine has COVID yesterday when I was talking to another friend of mine. And so when my husband knows, who is one of the owners of the Maple Leaf, which is a little pub, it's his, home bar. She has COVID, so I mean, it has touched already. And a friend of mine took his own life, and I think part of it had to do with the whole COVID thing. But I digress. So let me get back to the move update. I made my list, and then the insanity started. So the first thing I did was I changed our home address for like the credit cards at where I work, the bank, and even with the post office to change everything over. So I took care of all of that. So yay me. Give me a high five. Give me some points. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yay you in the comments or something, because that's an accomplishment right there. The next thing that I did was I set up electricity, which we had recently just had to get a new plan because it was up. So I just kind of like moved that over. I think something slightly changed, but honestly, I didn't care as long as it was the same rate. That's all I cared about, and I just wanted it done. And then I didn't realize this, but we have to set up for gas. It's like, oh gosh, another thing. And then they want a deposit. It's like, fabulous. Of course you do. So there's that. I'm going to have to pay that. And plus there's a connection fee. And so all together, that's like $120 for just that. And then I looked up movers. Now I had told my husband, Look up the different movers, because the movers that we had when we moved here a little bit over a year ago, horrible. I got them on Groupon. I'll have to look up what they were. I don't know off the top of my head. I would never recommend them because they basically destroyed a piece of furniture and then didn't pay for it, because they made some, like, what they said in the response was crazy. I mean, the guy dropped it down the stairs. I mean, literally down the stairs, but whatever. We're past that. We've moved on, but I would never recommend them. And there was also 2 of them, and it took them like 8 hours to move our stuff. My husband moved all the boxes. All you had was like maybe 18 pieces of furniture to move. How in the hell does that take 8 hours? I guess you were taking a lot of breaks, smoking cigarettes, drinking whatever. I mean, I don't know, but that was really, really unnecessary. And so we're not using them. We're using someone else that I've used before. Got that underway. And then the piece de resistance is trying to get internet. And this is what usually frustrates me. I have gone through so many different things trying to get internet when we have moved since 2015. That was like our first move out of the Rice downtown. It's just been a cluster, okay? A complete and utter cluster. Have you ever had problems getting all these things connected? Because we moved once, and this was when we lived on Main Street, and we were going to get like the dish thing, and we were told when I called, because I'm the one that makes all the calls, we're told, hey, that's fine, it's gonna work, yada, yada. The guy gets out there, nope, can't do it because of like where the building is facing or some crap. I don't remember. But then we had to get something else. So I think then we went with Xfinity. I think we did. Did we? I don't know. Maybe it was AT&T. It was AT&T. Yeah, it was AT&T. We did that. And it was okay, but there was something that irritated us, and I can't remember what. So then next, when we moved again, we were going to do AT&T, but we couldn't because it didn't service there, and they said it was set up for Xfinity, or, you know, it was just something. And so we did. Well, there was no lines that were there. We had a horrible connection most of the time that we lived there. And one of the things I couldn't stand is that stinking box. Every single night updates, and I sleep with the TV on. I know you're not supposed to, but I do. I actually find it relaxing. And now I will put on YouTube, and I like listen to true crime. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it relaxes me. And I just like listen to a story and I fall asleep. And so that's what I do. And so then when we came over here, we're like, we're cutting the cord. We're not doing the cable thing anymore. Went back to AT&T. Here, the connection has been crappy. And I work from home, hashtag not MLM. And yesterday for like, oh my gosh, like 6 hours, we didn't have internet. And everything we do is based on the internet, you know? I mean, everything. I couldn't use my phone. We couldn't do anything. I mean, like I couldn't like search on the internet because we didn't have anything. It was like impossible. Even when I took it off Wi-Fi, I couldn't get anything. It wasn't until our neighbor, she gave me her password to hers, and so I was able to do it then. But it was highly, highly frustrating. So I called to get it set up with AT&T. Their speed to where we're moving to, which is not that far from where we live right now, they don't have really the high speed over there. How is it that I'm in Houston and high-speed internet is not accessible for me so that I can jump on the Zoom meetings that I need to be on so that I can stream stuff? How is that even possible in 2020? I don't get it. I am just blown away from that. So then we're like, okay, I look up what's available. We're back to Comcast Xfinity. And then it's confusing because it's like, well, there's the X1, which to me, I think of that because when we had it the last time, that was cable. So I'm like, is this cable? And it doesn't really say that, but they say you can stream it. And then there's this thing called Flex. So now I'm on YouTube trying to find reviews on everything. Peter, please review this stuff. I mean, I know you do reviews. Please review this for me. I need help. It was just so confusing. So now we have more questions than what we had yesterday. So I haven't set that up. And it's always, always, always a pain in my ass. So there's my move update, and it's going to get done. It will. It will. and we have a list of the different things that we're going to need to buy. Because you know, when you move, you always have to buy stuff. You never can just move and you just have what you need. You always need something, right? So yeah, we have that list, and now we're going to have to prioritize, and we're going to be spending money on stuff that, guess what, we weren't planning on doing because we weren't planning on moving during a pandemic. But it's not our choice because Karen bought the building and Karen wants to speak to the manager so she can, you know, remodel everything and move in here, you know. Karen, she's always causing problems, always. So now let me get to why I love Peter Monn, my top 10 reasons. And if you don't like them, I don't care. And if you have something to say about any one of them or think that I'm being out of line, I don't care. Again, this is my channel, not yours. If you want to make your own list, go right ahead, knock yourself out. Go for it. And maybe I'll even come over and watch it. Probably not, because I have other things to do because I'm a busy girl dealing with moving. Okay, so the top 10 reasons I love Peter Monn. Number 1, the man is gay. I know that might sound weird. Well, why are you putting that as a reason? Well, I'm going to tell you. You see, there used to be a restaurant pretty near us that was open that years ago. I reconnected with a friend of mine because she had lived in the Middle East with her husband, and then they moved back, and I ran into her at this place called Katz's Deli, which is a restaurant here in the Houston Montrose area. And so we reconnected after, and this was way before the internet and stuff, so I was super excited to see her. Well, every Friday night, her and some of her neighbors would walk over to this little hole in the wall Mexican restaurant and have dinner. And so I'd go over there with them. And so some of those neighbors, because this is the gay area of town, some of those neighbors were gay. And I mean, they were just like these fabulous guys. And when I watch Peter, he makes me think of that group of people, and he could totally like fit in with them. It's like I could totally see him sitting at the table and all of that. Just, you know, it just, he really seems like someone who would have been part of the gang, so to speak. And if you don't have a gay BFF, I don't really right now, but if you don't, you should, because the thing is, and this is what I also love about Peter, is that he's the kind of guy that's going to tell you how it is, whether you want to hear it or not. And that's what I've liked about it, having a gay BFF, is that, you know, they'll tell you things. They'll be honest with you. If something looks good on you, if it looks crappy on you. And I think that's a great thing, you know? So that's one of the reasons. The second thing is that he's older. I'm older. I'm 56. He's 48. So I'm older than him. But when I see him, because he has gray hair, which I think is beautiful, even though he hides it under a baseball cap, and I think he looks precious with that baseball cap on anyway. But, you know, when I saw him, I'm like, well, you know what? Obviously, he's not a young, spry little chicken. And I most certainly am not either. And I always sometimes feel like a little like my stuff isn't being seen, maybe because I'm this older woman. You know, think of me as your, you know, YouTube mom, because when I do things, especially on my channel, Recovering Hunbot, I come from a place of a lot of experience. And there's people that want to call me Karen, and there's people that are saying really less than kind things. And if that makes you feel better about yourself, okay. But realize I'm coming at it from a place of experience, of trying to look at things. That's why I am not into what I refer to as Hun shaming, of just like showing people's faces and stuff. It's like, I don't want to do all of that, because I'm thinking of the person behind all of it, you know? Does that make sense? So I really appreciate that he's older and he's grown, you know, what I consider a big presence, of certainly far larger than my own. So I think that's wonderful. He, you know, he gave me hope. When I saw him, I'm like, you know, someone's older doing something on this platform, and, you know, maybe there'll be more people watching my stuff one day. Maybe they won't, but nonetheless, I'm still going to continue making videos because it is an outlet for me. Honestly, it's an outlet, and I've needed an outlet. And that's kind of how this channel was born, the outlet to talk about my COVID move, but also looking at Peter and seeing what he had done, which brings me to the third thing, is he's got 5 channels. And that's kind of something that spoke to me. It's like, oh my gosh, he's making videos for every single channel about every single day. That's a lot of work. That takes a lot. So let me tell you what his other channels are. And I am going to put a link to all of them in the description. And, if you've never gone to any of Peter's channels, try it out. I mean, I think he's absolutely so funny and so precious and just adorable. I just love him. So he has Peter Monn. Peter Monn is where he does, kind of like commentary on the beauty community. And that's really kind of, you know, if I can talk here, sometimes words just get garbled. And, early on in one of my videos, somebody said, it's like, I don't care. You try to talk and record yourself and try to edit things. Your shit is not going to come out perfect. Nobody does this perfectly. So if you don't like the fact that I stumble over some words, well, there's the door. That's all I can say is, bye. Okay, so Peter Monn, that's where he does his commentary on the beauty community. And I really like how he does his stuff because I always feel that he's pretty level-headed about it, and he doesn't seem to take sides or anything like that, and seems to look at the bigger picture. And that's something that I try to do too, is look at the bigger picture of everything. He also has a channel called Peter Reviews Stuff, which over on this channel, I'm probably going to review some stuff. I've got plenty of stuff that I can review and talk about, but I just can't do it right now dealing with this move, I mean, there's only so much I can do, and my mind it's just not all here. It's very hard for me to focus. My anxiety and stress, everything is so incredibly heightened that I'm doing good just to make it through the day. So then he has My Peterisms channel, and that's where he gives kind of, advice from him being, I guess, a person with experience who has lived a bit. And if you're a younger person, all of you people who are younger, one of the things you need to do, and I didn't do it very well when I was younger, is respect your elders, because people who are older are coming at it with love and experience to help you, but you're younger people, and I was one of them, like, you don't know anything, you don't know, you're not me, blah, 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 blah. Things don't change that much. There's going to be just this kind of like common underlying thing that goes on in life. And when you've lived a minute, you have more experience, and you can provide some rationalization about things that when you're younger, you're just probably not going to be able to see because you haven't gone through things over and over and over again. I mean, it's just a fact. It's just, it happens over time. It just really does. The next channel he does is My Daily Vlog channel. So, he has a vlog and he just kind of shares his life. And then the last channel is My BookTube channel over on Facebook. He has a true crime community. And so that's all kind of like connected because he talks about, different books and stuff. So I think it's so impressive that he has all these different channels. He's running around doing all these different videos. And I thought, when I'm dealing with this whole move thing, do I want to put this over on my anti-MLM, which I also do dip my toes into true crime? Do I want to muddy the waters over there, And I kind of thought maybe I shouldn't. And that's kind of what inspired me to create this channel. Now, granted, I'm not monetized right now. I think I have 43 subscribers, and I'm happy to have them. So thank you. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you so very much. I can't believe that anybody would come over here and want to hear me talk about this stuff, but great, because I'm going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Really, whatever's on my little brain here, that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the next thing I love about Peter is the intro he does on Peter Monn. And it goes something like this. Now, I cannot do it like him. So please do not, give me a grade or tell me any, just don't be an asshole to me about it, okay? It goes something like, it's Peter, I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. And then he has a pretend mic. I'm YouTube famous now. And he does a little song. I can't sing. So, the dogs will start howling. We don't want that. And, then he goes, I think it's, the album in 2020, it's just really cute that it's fun. And then sometimes he'll sing like part of a little song, and then he launches into whatever it is he's going to talk about. And typically it takes him a while to get to whatever the content, the real meat of the video is about. And some people just get real, snarky, and they're all time stamping everything because I guess, they just want the drama right now and they don't want to wait for all of it. But I enjoy hearing him kind of just, talk about whatever. It just, I feel like it's a real person, and so I really like that. So his intro, I think, is great, which all of this leads me to something else that, really connected to me. And that's the fact that he has dogs. Now, I think this past year he lost one of his dogs, which that really hurts because I know what it's like to lose a fur baby. I mean, when you're close to your fur babies, Chalupa and Tamale, I mean, they are my little babies. And every animal that I've had as an adult has been cremated, and I have their ashes and I think about them. And, it takes a part of you away when you lose them. So when I see, I think Tucker is one of his little dogs that will like jump up on the chair as he's talking, doing the, commentary stuff. And I just think that's so sweet. It just, it humanizes someone, their little pet and stuff. And, and Peter is just, he just seems so down to earth. Maybe it's a show. I don't think so, but he just seems down to earth, and I like that. Next thing, oh, that was leading to this. He's not fancy. So he doesn't have fancy backgrounds. He doesn't do fancy editing or anything like that. And I appreciate that. Right now, I just have this, which is from camera background, whatever, because otherwise the lighting gets kind of wonky. Now, when we move my camera, well, that too, my desk is going to be in front, and this one is in front of a huge window, and I can't get natural light, which looks really good. But the audio quality was crappy because of the huge window. So I thought, until I got this mic, that I also have foam ups, because no one starts on YouTube with all the things. And I have ceramic tile floor in here. Where we're moving, there is wood floor. So I think that will be a little bit softer of a sound, I don't think it will reverb as much. I don't know. We'll find out. And whatever I have is what I have. And if people, want to bitch and gripe, well, they're going to bitch and gripe, because that's just what people do. They have all these high expectations. But I love that about Peter, that he doesn't try to make it, super, I guess, flashy, because it takes a lot of time to do all of that. I've done several videos over on, the Recovering Hunbot, where I'm filming a lot of B-roll by, doing video capture and stuff. And I'm doing all this. It takes a lot of time in addition to all the research I do. So this is easy. And I like that Peter makes it easy on himself, because if you're going to make a video every single day, let me tell you, that shit needs to be easy. And so if you're someone, again, who is looking for the fancy, all of that, then I'm not for you, and Peter's not for you either. I mean, if you are okay with it being simple, then great, because do we really need everything super fancy? I think we've really gotten kind of, too much of that. And I think that has heightened everybody's expectations of like, well, bah, 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 bah. And I just want to say, then you go try and do all of this and see how easy it is. It's not as easy as you think. Okay, the next thing, his sobriety. I am so proud of Peter for being sober. I want to say that it's over 20 years, 25 years, if memory serves, which it may not. So there's that. But that spoke to me because I'm adopted, in case you didn't know that. I don't know. I've said that publicly. But anyway, I'm adopted. My adopted father was an alcoholic, and I lost him when I was 10. And my mother had remarried, because they got divorced, had remarried one of his best friends. Well, my stepfather was a complete asshole, and he was a completely mean, horrible, abusive, drunk. He was terrible. So it was very, very different. But I was raised in an alcoholic household. And so then when I became older and started dating and all of that, my relationships were less than stellar, because I kept getting people in my life who had similar problems, addicted to something. And, I was in a lot of very unhealthy relationships. So when Peter speaks about his sobriety, that speaks to me having been, through it as, a codependent type of person and everything. So I'm really glad that he talks about his sobriety, because it's important, because there's a lot of people out there, and especially right now with what's going on in the world, there's a lot of things people are doing trying to cope, And you actually, what I also love about Peter in terms of his personality is that he's real out there. He's just like very happy and jovial. And people will say, like accuse him of being on drugs, like he's on meth. And it's just him being him is what he says. And I think so. I mean, I can get completely goofy and silly. And it's just me being me. You don't have to be on anything. Now, have I taken stuff in the past? Yeah, I have. I mean, a lot of people have, but that's not something I do now. So Peter's sobriety speaks to me. And this brings to another thing that I was talking about. It's really his personality and his humor, because I think he's just so cute, because he, makes me laugh, and he's just, silly and fun and jovial, and he just seems not to care like what people are saying or thinking about him and how he does things. And that has kind of freed me, especially over here, to just not worry and care, because when I work on my anti-MLM videos, I mean, I spend so much time and put so much effort trying to get all the things, the content, the research, the, you know, where I got everything, all my source material, and then trying to craft a story. It is very, very challenging. It takes a toll. It takes a lot of time to do that. So his humor makes me laugh, and I need that. I think we all do. Something else, this is the ninth one, is that he stays in his lane. He doesn't get someone to send him some exclusive stuff, He's not into all of that. He just kind of, tells you what he's thinking about whatever topic. When it's on Peter Monn about the beauty community, he just kind of, goes into his thoughts and feelings about whatever. And I like that, because personally, I think it can become problematic if you are a YouTuber becoming super close with some other YouTubers, depending on who they are, because just from what I've seen, there seems like there can become this infighting type stuff. And maybe it's just because of the beauty community. I don't know. Is it like that in other communities? If it is, or if it's not, let me know in the comments, because honestly, I have no idea. And then number 10 is the true crime connection. When I was an undergrad, okay, my major at the time was sociology. I minored in theology, and my college that I went to, my university, is not too far from where I am right now. And somebody started nicknaming me Hatchet Woman, not because, I was going to kill people, but because of all the true crime that I read, and that they knew that I was really into that. And we took a course on criminology together. So that was my nickname. So for many, many years, I've always been interested in true crime. And so when Peter talks about, the book club and everything, and he talks about unsolved mysteries, different things that he's watching, again, that talks to me, because, I like that stuff. I am intrigued by it. I think it's interesting. And, that's why I want to do some of that on the anti-MLM Recovering Hunbot channel, because sometimes I'm able to connect the two. And I don't know, maybe I will do something where I'm focusing exclusively on just some Texas or Houston crimes. That's kind of one thing that I wanted to start doing, but honestly, it goes back to I don't have the time right now, because in balancing all of this of me creating content, I work full time from home, and I have since before COVID. I've always worked from home since I started working for this company. So those are all of the reasons why I love Peter Monn. And if you have not gone to any of his channels, pick one, go to it. The links will be in the description, all that. And remember, you're beautiful, and I love you.